Hello, guys. Welcome. My name is Dejan Paulus. What we're going to talk about today is how I started off, how I started music and it was created. So, first thing, let's go by my artistry stage name. I go by the name of Day True the Artist, and I'm from Detroit, Michigan, born and raised. And how I started off music was, it was kind of like, a little like, maybe a little like, slow a little bit to, I got my way up, a couple years. But what it was is I started off with no equipment, using the phone behind the Bluetooth speaker, and I started off using apps like BandLab and Spreaker Studio, or sometimes record off of SoundCloud and use a Bluetooth speaker and just upload from there. But it was just very complicated, and I was young. I was probably about 16 years old. Yeah, 16 years old when I first started to like do everything. First started like music, but then like all the way up from there. We'll talk about that in the next clip. But I dropped like a couple of tapes before I started working on albums. So I got like old mixtapes, but like I just didn't sound too good back then. So I didn't have that typical confidence and things like that. So yeah. So I'd say around 2000, 2018. 2018, I dropped my first album called Around the Globe. Some produced by me, some produced by other producers. But yeah, I started off, like I said, I didn't have like no equipment. I used like my tablet, and I found this one app around 2017 called FL Studio Mobile, and I found it like real interesting. So I was like, very interesting, and I started using it, and it helped me to where I can like record professionally, but not all the way professionally, because I didn't have like the microphone or the laptop or anything like that before then. But it was quite simple and everything. So yeah. So yeah, that's just how everything started from there. But then, like, everything started like from a team too, cause I had a team and stuff. I actually got two teams that I'm working with and everything. Like, we all do music and we all a group. So I call them my brothers, call them my sisters. So we just work together and work on music together. So yeah. Okay, started around 2019. I went to a music store. No, did I say music store? No, I went to like a probably like one of the pawn shops, and I went to got me like a big computer, and then my father had brought me like a laptop, that year, and I started like recording off of FL Studio mobile, and I was using like a gaming chat set because I didn't know the difference like what to use because I was still learning the process on how to like use like a recording equipment and everything, and still learning how to mix and master and things like that. So yeah, like that's how the process started, and I just started from there to where I could record good songs and everything. So yeah, and that was when I got into my second album, which is called Better Than Way Before. You can look that up. It's all on platforms and everything. So yeah, like just simple stuff like that. So you can look all that up on platforms. And like when I got to my second album, that's when I just went on ahead and adjust that adjust that, not the production part, but adjust the mix and master part on how to mix my vocals up smoothly and everything, and how to stay creative and match my words, and have better writing skills. So yeah. Okay, I'll say by the end of 2021. Let's talk about that. The end of 2021, I had got like maybe I bought like hex of equipment that year, which was crazy and spendable. I ended up like spending some laptops, on my team, so they can have like some equipment to work on. And I ended up getting my camera. As you can see, I'm recording off my camera and everything. So I ended up getting this camera around 2021 and everything like that. So everything was just a go from there. Like I had got microphones and everything. Like everything was just a go from there. Like was just like recording off the microphone. I was able to adjust using the microphone, and it worked correctly. But it wasn't the microphone that I wanted though. Like the microphone that I wanted was like something clear, and I didn't order that. And then I was just to order CDs and things like that. Learning how to make CDs and everything. So, yeah. And then other than that, that's when I had got to my. This was I was going into my third album, City Life 2, 2021. I was going to my fourth album, Flame Pitch, in 2022. So, yeah, like everything from there was like a go. But like I said, I was still independent. But then that year I had got like label offers too. So I mean, some labels wanted to sign me that year. So I was thinking like I wasn't ready yet or anything like that. So I mean, I just wasn't ready or anything like that. So I just kept on working from there. So around 2023 and 24, I say around around that range. I was working on my next album, which came out last year. I worked on two albums, throughout the 2023 period. And last year I ended up getting some more new equipment, and which I have got a microphone. I'm gonna show you my microphone. Show you guys my microphone. This good brand new microphone that I got right here, as you can see. And I ended up getting me a brand new laptop that I'm going to show y'all. Let me show y'all this brand new laptop that I got. Show y'all this brand new laptop that I got. That's the brand new laptop that I got. It worked perfectly fine, and I ended up getting the FL Studio Mobile. No, that's not mobile. That's FL Studio 24 installed. As you can see, I got like the full studio set and everything. So I was able to get that, just to have like, good quality and good creativity and everything. So yeah, and I'm gonna show y'all another thing that I have got in the next clip. So I ended up getting this. This is my MPC, the little producer thing that every producer use. I ended up getting this and everything. So I mean, it worked very well for like FL Studio and FL Studio Mobile. It worked very well on Ableton. I was able to use Ableton when I used this, and it worked very well and everything. So it's very a very powerful instrument piece, and a very powerful equipment use. So yeah, this is the MPC producer thing, and it worked perfectly fine and everything. So yeah, other than that, yeah, I got all my equipment and everything. I even got a microphone, the foam for the microphone. I meant to say foam. The foam for the microphone and everything. So, I could have like, some typical creativity for my fans and, for my audience to, enjoy some good music. Because I got another album coming up next year that I'm working on. I already got the beats created and everything. I even used my little MPC for everything. So I can't wait for y'all to, hear what I got coming up. So, some of it might be gritty, some of it might be jazz, quiet R&B, typical stuff. And for this particular project, I'm talking about my life, of what I've been through and everything. So yeah, like, stay tuned, man. Can't wait. But other than that, that's all I got for y'all. Like, really, like, I got this brand new group material project that I got coming up with me and my team. So I got beats produced by me and beats produced by other producers. So yeah, I mean, y'all be on the lookout, man. I just can't wait to be in a creativity mode, and let's get in this creativity field. Yeah. Alrighty, y'all. Good luck out there to all my producers, to all the creators. Good luck out there, and let's get it rolling.